Hey there. Welcome back to Money Matters today. I've got breaking news that you absolutely need to hear about. The IRS has just released crucial information about stimulus payments for 2025 that could put an extra $1,400 in your pocket. This isn't just another rumor or social media speculation. This is real information that could directly impact your finances. I'm David Mitchell, and after analyzing tax codes and government benefits for over 2 decades, I can tell you that understanding these stimulus requirements is absolutely crucial. Just last week, I helped Maria, one of our viewers, discover she was eligible for previous stimulus payments she didn't even know about. What's really exciting about this new round of stimulus checks is that the eligibility requirements are different from previous payments. Many people who weren't eligible before might qualify this time, and I don't want you to miss out on a single dollar you're entitled to receive. In this video, we're going to cover who qualifies for the new $1,400 payment, the critical deadlines you can't afford to miss, what documentation you need to prepare, common mistakes that could delay your payment, special considerations for retirees and veterans. If you want to make sure you get every dollar you're entitled to, you need to watch this entire video. The information I'm about to share could be the difference between receiving your payment promptly or facing frustrating delays. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates about these payments. And if you know someone who might be eligible, share this video with them. They'll thank you later. Now, let's get into the details about these new stimulus payments and exactly what you need to do to secure yours. Let's dive right into the details of these new stimulus payments that could make a significant difference in your financial situation. First, I want to address something crucial that many people are confused about. The income thresholds for this new round of payments are different from what we've seen before. The IRS has adjusted these thresholds to account for inflation and changing economic conditions, which means even if you didn't qualify for previous stimulus payments, you might be eligible this time. I recently worked with Tom, a retired teacher who thought he wouldn't qualify because his pension and retirement income put him over the limit for previous stimulus payments. But after reviewing the new guidelines together, we discovered he was well within the new income thresholds. This is exactly why it's so important to understand these new requirements thoroughly and not just assume you won't qualify based on past experience. Now, let's talk about what makes this round of stimulus payments particularly special for retirees and those on fixed incomes. Unlike previous stimulus programs, this one includes specific provisions for seniors who rely primarily on Social Security benefits. The IRS has recognized that many seniors face unique financial challenges, especially with the rising cost of living, and they've structured these payments to provide additional support where it's needed most. One of the most significant changes involves how retirement income is calculated for eligibility purposes. Previously, certain types of retirement income could push people over the qualifying threshold, but the new guidelines have modified how this income is counted. For example, Sarah, another viewer I helped recently, was worried that her required minimum distributions from her IRA would disqualify her. However, under the new rules, certain types of retirement distributions are treated differently when calculating eligibility. Speaking of eligibility, let's address something that's causing a lot of confusion: the difference between adjusted gross income and modified adjusted gross income for these stimulus payments. The IRS is using a slightly different calculation this time, and understanding this difference could be the key to knowing whether you qualify. I've seen many cases where people assume they wouldn't qualify based on their regular income, not realizing that the modified calculation actually puts them well within the eligibility range. Another crucial aspect of these new stimulus payments involves dependent benefits. If you're caring for adult dependents, perhaps an elderly parent or a disabled adult child, there are additional benefits you might be eligible for. This is a significant change from previous stimulus programs, and it's one that could make a substantial difference for many families. I recently helped the Johnson family navigate this aspect of the stimulus program, and they were amazed to discover they qualified for additional support they hadn't known about. Let's talk about the timing of these payments, because this is something that's causing a lot of anxiety for people. The IRS has announced a phased distribution schedule based on several factors, including how you typically receive government benefits. For those who get Social Security or other federal benefits through direct deposit, you'll likely be among the first to receive your stimulus payment. However, there are some important steps you might need to take to ensure your payment arrives as quickly as possible. One thing I want to emphasize is the importance of having your current information on file with the IRS. I've seen too many cases where payments were delayed simply because people had moved or changed bank accounts without updating their information. The good news is that updating your information is relatively straightforward, and I'll walk you through exactly how to do it to avoid any delays in receiving your payment. For those who are married and file jointly, there are some special considerations you need to be aware of. The income thresholds are different, and in some cases, you might qualify for a larger payment. I worked with the Andersons last week. They were about to file separately because they thought it would help them qualify. But after reviewing their situation, we discovered they'd actually receive more by filing jointly under the new guidelines. Now, let's address something that's particularly relevant for those of you who receive veterans benefits. The VA and IRS have established a new system for coordinating these payments, which should make the process much smoother than it was during previous stimulus rounds. If you're a veteran receiving VA benefits, you might not need to take any additional action to receive your payment, but there are some important exceptions you need to be aware of. One aspect that's often overlooked is the impact these stimulus payments might have on other benefits you're receiving. The good news is that these payments are not counted as income for determining eligibility for federal benefits programs. This means accepting a stimulus payment won't affect your Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, or other federal benefits. This was a major concern during previous stimulus rounds, so I'm glad we can put those worries to rest. For those of you who have grandchildren or other dependents you're supporting, there are additional provisions you need to know about. The new stimulus package includes enhanced benefits for those caring for dependents, and the age restrictions have been modified from previous programs. I recently helped Gloria, who's raising her two grandchildren, understand how these provisions apply to her situation, and she was relieved to learn she qualified for additional support. Let's talk about the documentation you might need to have ready. While many people will receive their payments automatically, there are situations where you might need to provide additional information to the IRS. Having these documents organized and ready can save you a lot of time and stress if you need to verify your eligibility or respond to any questions from the IRS. One thing that's causing some confusion is how these payments interact with tax returns. If you haven't filed taxes recently because your income is below the filing threshold, don't worry. You can still qualify for the stimulus payment. The IRS has created a special portal for non-filers to submit their information and receive their payment. I've helped several viewers navigate this portal, and while it might seem intimidating at first, it's actually quite straightforward once you know what information you need. For those of you who receive multiple types of federal benefits, there's some good news. The IRS has simplified the process for determining which agency will distribute your payment. This means less confusion and, hopefully, faster payment processing. However, there are some situations where you might need to take specific actions to ensure you receive your payment through the most efficient channel. I want to address a concern many of you have expressed about scams related to these stimulus payments. Unfortunately, whenever there's a new government program, scammers try to take advantage of people's confusion. I'll share some red flags to watch out for and explain how you can protect yourself from fraud while ensuring you receive your legitimate payment. One particularly important aspect of these new stimulus payments involves recovery rebate credits. If you don't receive your payment automatically, or if you receive less than you're entitled to, you might be able to claim the difference on your tax return. Understanding how this works could be the difference between getting your full payment and missing out on money you're entitled to receive. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize a few key points about timing. While the IRS has announced these stimulus payments for 2025, there are actions you might need to take now to ensure you receive your payment as quickly as possible when the time comes. Being proactive about updating your information and understanding the requirements can save you a lot of headaches later. Remember, if you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone else who might benefit from knowing about these upcoming stimulus payments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to stay updated on any changes or additional information about these payments as it becomes available. In our next video, we'll be diving deep into specific strategies for maximizing your tax benefits in 2025, which could help you qualify for even more assistance. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.